So you're looking for a dog trainer in Olathe, and maybe you're not sure where to even start. It can definitely feel like a lot. Well, in this guide, we're going to break down everything you need to know. We're talking training methods, local costs, the whole deal, so you can feel really good about the choice you make for you and your dog.
You know, good training isn't just about sit and stay. It's about actually enjoying your life here in Olathe with your dog. I mean, picture it, a really nice, peaceful walk around Lake Olathe, or grabbing a coffee downtown without any drama, or even heading to Old Settlers Days knowing your dog is going to be cool, calm, and collected. That's what good training gets you.
Okay, here's what we're going to cover. First, why Olathe life matters for training. Then, we'll get into all the different training options. We'll look at costs and local rules, walk through how to pick a trainer, and then, the fun part, where to practice around town.
All right, Section 1, Training for Olathe Life. This is all about why having a trainer who gets our local area is so helpful for your dog's success. It's about way more than just the basics.
Okay, think about what your dog actually experiences here. You've got the busy shopping areas like Santa Fe Street. You've got big community events with tons of people. And what about the trails? You're navigating around joggers and cyclists all the time. A trainer who really knows Olathe can help your dog handle all these real-life situations with confidence.
Next up, let's talk about all the different training options out there. Before you even start your search, it really helps to understand the lingo, the methods, the class types, and the certifications that show you who really knows their stuff.
So the approach that's most recommended by pros is something called positive reinforcement. It's pretty simple, actually. It's all about rewarding the behavior you do want, with treats, praise, whatever your dog loves. This builds a really strong bond of trust, and just works better in the long run because it's not based on fear or making your dog anxious.
When it comes to how training is delivered, you'll mostly see two big options: group classes and private sessions. Group classes are awesome for practicing focus when there are other dogs and people around. But if you're dealing with something specific at home, like say jumping on guests or crazy leash pulling in your neighborhood, private sessions are probably your best bet.
You also run into a few other formats. There's board and train, which is like a doggy boot camp where your dog stays with the trainer. You have to be really careful vetting these. Then there's day training, where the trainer works with your dog during the day, then shows you what they did. And for tougher stuff like major fear or reactivity, you'll look for something called behavior modification.
Okay, this is a big one. How do you know if a trainer actually knows what they're doing? Well, you can look for professional certifications. I know, it's a bunch of letters, but things like CPGTKA mean that trainer has actually passed tests and has to keep up with their education. Since pretty much anyone can call themselves a dog trainer, these certifications are a really good way to spot the true professionals.
All right, let's get practical and talk about costs and local rules here in Olathe. It's always good to know what to expect for your budget and how to follow the city's regulations.
So here's a ballpark of what you can expect to pay for training in Olathe. A full course of puppy or group classes, usually lasting a few weeks, will probably be somewhere between $140 and $280. A one-on-one private lesson is going to be more, maybe $100 to $180 per session. And yeah, as you can see, board and train is a whole different level of investment.
And just a quick rundown of the local rules every dog owner should know. First, the leash law. Your dog has to be on a leash everywhere in public, unless it's an official dog park. Next, your dog must have a current rabies vaccination. That's a state law. And finally, if your dog is over 4 months old, you do need to get a city license from Olathe.
Okay, so we've laid all the groundwork. Now for the most important part. How do you actually choose a trainer? Let's go through a step-by-step guide so you can feel really confident in your decision.
Here's a simple 5-step process you can follow. First, ask about their methods. Second, ask about their certifications. Third, talk about how they'll create a plan specifically for your dog. Fourth, get all the details on costs. And fifth, ask them how they track progress to make sure the training is working.
This might be the most important question you ask. When you ask about methods and equipment, what you're listening for is a focus on positive, reward-based training. You want someone who's going to build your dog up, not someone who uses tools or techniques that rely on fear or punishment. That's a huge difference. This question is all about making sure the training is relevant to you. A good trainer isn't going to give you some generic one-size-fits-all plan. They should be asking you about your goals. Do you want to walk calmly through the Mojave stagecoach stop, or just stop the barking at home? The plan should be built around your life right here in Olathe.
Now, this is a really telling question.
especially if you're dealing with bigger issues like serious fear or anxiety. A real professional knows that sometimes behavior problems can have a medical root. So if they're willing and even eager to work with your vet, that's a fantastic sign that you're talking to someone who truly puts your dog's well-being first.
So you've picked a trainer and you've got a plan. Now it's time to put those new skills to work. Let's talk about some great spots right here in Olathe where you can practice and really solidify all that training in the real world.
Olathe has some perfect places for this. If you want to work on off-leash skills like recall, the fenced-in dog parks at Cedar Lake and Prairie Center are your best friends. They're safe and secure. For on-leash practice, the trails at Lake Olathe are fantastic for getting your dog used to joggers and cyclists. And if you want a real challenge with wildlife distractions, the trails at Ernie Miller Nature Center are just the ticket.
You know, at the end of the day, getting the right training is about so much more than just having an obedient dog. It's about building a better relationship. It's what makes those neighborhood walks, those family get-togethers, and even just a quiet evening at home so much more relaxed and enjoyable for everyone. A well-trained dog really does open up your world, so you can enjoy everything Olathe has to offer, together.